gun several times. It failed to fire. He then ran out the door up the street.
Welcome to the historic Deadwood, South Dakota. This is where Wild Bill Hickok bit the dust with the dead man's hand at the number 10 saloon. We're gonna go have some lunch there and check this out.
Welcome to Deadwood! Welcome to the world famous saloon number 10. Now this is the only museum in the world with a bar in it. Hey, you know that flag out here. I love museums. Well, anyway, I know why you're all here today. You're watching me play some cards, right? Yeah! All right, well, I'm going to do that for you. First, I'm going to tell you some stories about myself and how I came to be the man you know me as today. And also, I ended up here in Deadwood. And, well, I can tell you, it's going to be pretty tough to concentrate on them stories. These cards sitting all idle like that back here, but I'll do my best. Y'all know who I am? Wild Bill Hickok, exactly right. Well, James Butler Hickok. Most folks nowadays, they do like to call me Wild Bill. And like I said, I'm going to tell you some stories about myself. As well, start from the beginning. I was born in Troy Grove, Illinois, May 27th of 1837. Quick, how old's that make me? 39, exactly right. Good job, guys. Now, I am going to skip over a little bit because I really don't think you'd probably recognize me till about 1865. The Civil War had just ended, and while I did fight during the Civil War, I was a scout, a spy, and a sharpshooter for the Northern Army. But when the war did end, I was just like everybody else. I needed work, so I took off looking for work. I headed west. Now, I didn't get too far west before I stopped at my first town, a place called Springfield, Missouri. Now, Springfield, more of just a stopping point for me, but I did find a card game right away, and, well, if you don't know anything else about me, surely you know that I ain't passing me up a good game of poker. Now, in this game, I played with a fella by the name of Davis Tutt. And Davis, he was a Southern boy, and of course, I fought for the North during the war, so how we got along well enough to sit across the table from each other, I have no idea. Man, that guy really did not like me at all. But we managed, and we did play for a couple days. Unfortunately, I ended up owing him about $35. Now, $35 being quite a sum of money that I didn't have, and Davis really wanted some collateral, well, I didn't know what I was going to do. All I had was an old pocket watch that my daddy had given me, and I wasn't about to give that up. But Davis, he was relentless. He wanted something to ensure it that he was getting his money back. So, reluctantly, I did end up giving him that pocket watch, but I told him, I said, now, David, don't be going around telling everybody how you took that from me in a card game, because that ain't how it happened. That watch means a whole lot more to me than $35, and I'm getting it back. Well, the very next day, here's Davis Tutt in the streets of Springfield, swinging that watch around, bragging to everybody, taunting me with it. Oh, I yelled at him across the town square, told him to knock it off, but he didn't want to listen. He yells back at me, I yell back at him. Then what's he do? Pulls out a gun and he takes a shot at me. Landed right at my feet. Well, if you know anything about the West, you don't take a shot at somebody unless you expect one coming right back at you. And I don't miss. I lined up at Davis 75 yards across that town square with my 36 caliber black powder pistol. Bam! One shot, right to the heart. Well, the authorities there in Springfield were none too happy with me shooting a fella down in their streets. And they arrested me. They told me that I was liable for the death of Davis Tuck. Well, I said, what about self-defense? He shot first. Yeah, all the witnesses on his side said he was just funning around. He really wasn't shooting at me. You know, I'm quite sure he don't think it's too fun anymore. Well, the judge saw it my way. Self-defense. I was acquitted there in Springfield, but I did figure it's about high time I got out of town. Now, as I'm leaving town, I ran into another fellow who just happened to be at that gunfight, and he saw the whole thing. He was a writer by the name of Henry Nickel. Now, Mr. Nickel, he wrote for Harper's Monthly. He wrote a lot of them dime novels out there on the East Coast. Said he wanted to do an interview with me. Said the people out there, they needed a hero from the new frontier, and, well, I guess he was going to make me it. Now, in this interview, I did tell him some stories about myself, and yeah, maybe I did exaggerate just a tad, but not nearly as much as he did. By the time he told that story, he had me killing around 100 people. Can you believe that? It was more like less than a half a dozen at this point, but it did make me famous. I went from being James Butler Hickok to being Wild Bill Hickok, the Prince of the Pistoliers, the greatest gunfighter the West had ever seen. And while the fame was nice, it kind of put a target on my back. Now every guy that had a gun wanted to be the guy that shot down the greatest gunfighter, and, well, I had to be extra cautious from then on. Still needing to get out of Springfield. Though acquitted, they were not happy about it. And, well, I still needed work, so I took off and I headed west again. I traveled across Kansas doing odd jobs just to survive. I drove a little freight for a while, scouted all over that place, and as I'm out there scouting, I noticed a few things. I noticed a lot of small towns were sprouting up out there. Yeah, seemed like everybody just kind of headed west on this big land grab, you know? Well, I also noticed a lot of them towns, they didn't have any law in them to speak of. Kind of gave me an idea, maybe I should be a lawman. So that's what I did. And I cleaned up a lot of towns across Kansas. Places like Fort Riley, Wichita, Hays City, a couple more. Fellas,
Taking a little poker.
how's the game going?
Oh, real good.
I'll tell you what, give me in, I'll be there in a second. I gotta get a drink. Alright, try that whiskey, Harry.
A riverboat captain from Missouri, were engaged in a game of draw poker and were quick to invite
That's
Bill
good
to
stuff.
join them.
The best. Doesn't really smell like the best, Harry.
While Bill's reputation demanded
It
that
is.
he be exceedingly cautious. For instance, he never liked to sit with his back to the door. The vacant seat was so located.
Not bad, Harry. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And Bill resulted in an attempt on Bill's part to get
Charlie!
his chair.
What are you doing in my chair?
My chair.
Not your chair. I sit there, you know it. Get out.
Bill was not given his request.
Well, I don't care how lucky you think it is. Get out of my chair, Charlie.
But after a few minutes, he stood up and again asked Charlie for his chair.
Dang it, Charlie. I can't sit here. You know it. Now get out of that chair
And
now.
on this rare occasion, he settled down, sitting with his back to the
Fine.
door.
I'll take your money and I'll take your
So
chair,
kept Bill
Charlie.
For all
What's the matter with
humility,
this guy,
elected
Carl?
a drinker, leaving
Been
his
that way
wife
all day?
free to handle his pistol.
Well, at least it's not
As
because I
unpredictable as card games are, Bill found himself quickly losing to Massey,
I
who
better
lost
get
to Bill
my
the night before.
$15, Harry.
Bill asked Harry for $15 worth of pocket checks.
All right.
Harry
Yeah,
dropped them
you
over to
did?
Bill
Oh, you
and
did.
returned to the
Bet.
bar
Bet 'em up there,
and his
Cam.
duties.
Bet two. Two? Stick around for two, Lucky?
Soon, a shifty drifter known as Jack McCall entered the saloon.
Yard.
Bill quickly turned while drawing his gun. Recognizing McCall as a newcomer to town, he greeted him with the friendly.
Howdy, Jack.
Bill reholstered his gun
That kid
and
was in here
returned to
last night playing. I can't believe he came
Jack
back
slowly
today.
circled the table, pausing briefly behind each player and analyzing
Alright, I'll
each
take two
hand.
cards. Yep. I raised him two more. You got to go more in there, Carl. Got the two cards. Alright. Yeah, you got to
While Bill's attention was on Massey, There was a friendly argument between them, and Wild Bill remarked,
You may saw that
upon
one
returning directly behind Wild Bill, suddenly Jack McCall,
No, fine.
the bullet
Take that,
struck Bill in
dang
the
you!
back of the head, coming out of his left cheek, and lodged in
Somebody
Captain
saw Wild
Massey's
Bill!
arm.
Hey, get out of
It
here,
was
Sam!
discovered that the car's bill was full of the word aces and
Get it!
for everyone
Get it!
in the dead man's hand. All fled the scene except Carl Mann, who was held at bay by McCall.
Myself, I will!
Jack snapped the trigger of his gun several times. It failed to fire. He then ran out the door up the street. He was found.
So right here is where Jack McCall was captured. Jack McCall, as you know, is the one who shot and killed Wild Bill Hickok over at the number 10. Jack McCall, the coward, captured right here. Here in just a moment here at the Outlaw Square in historic Deadwood, South Dakota. We're going to watch a live shootout reenactment right here in the streets. So check it out.
Howdy, folks! Now that's more like it. Now, my name is Marshall Con Stapleton, and I've been looking around town today, and there is a lot of folks around. I think I need a little extra help. So I'm going to swear in some of you folks to be official Deadwood deputies. Now raise your right hands, or whichever hand works for you, and repeat after me really loud. I state your name. Promise to obey. The laws of Deadwood Gulch. And to help track down that low down, no good, dirty dog, snake in the grass, oh weasel, that guy. All right, we are brothers and sisters of the law. Let's put our hands together. Go get 'em! That is one very fabulous bunch of deputies right there. I'll tell you what, I feel safer already just having them on the street. We research our stories very thoroughly. And right behind the Franklin Hotel here is the local Deadwood Public Library. They carry the Black Hills Pioneer newspaper going all the way back to 1876. And as hard as it's going to be to believe that this is a true story, it is a true story. This is how it happened. Back in September of 1876, the people of Deadwood decided they wanted a little law and order around here. So they hired me, Con Stapleton, to be Deadwood's first and only town marshal. But according to the Laramie Treaty of 1868, the Black Hills, including Deadwood, were part of the Great Sioux Reservation. So I really had no jurisdiction here at all. Now, despite that, my exploits were highly documented, including this strange but true tale of January 14th, 1877. Oh, he's out again.
Yeah.
But you know what, boys? That's just the way I like it. All nice and peaceful like it.
Yeah, that's a rare thing in this camp. Yeah, you can say that again. That's a rare thing in this camp. It's just an expression. What's going on with you? You know what? Why do you have to wake him all stinky here and get home before it gets dark?
I leave him alone. Besides, this old mule knows what home without his help.
He stinks though.
Yeah, he does.
God bless you.
Alright. No, that is terrible. Let's have it.
The Deadwood.
The Deadwood. Oh, that is awful, guys. Why don't we do that? We want some better whiskey.
Alright, nobody move and nobody get hurt. That goes for you too, lot dog. What are you doing? And you! Wipe that stupid grin off your stupid face! Hey! Oh. Hey! What are you gonna do, lot dog? You got damage!
You take care of what? I'm gonna take this scumbag to jail.
I can't believe you just Marshall and got you instead.
What's that for 10?
Boy, that was a close one. I could have been a goner. Look, you got a bullet hole right there in your forehead. What? God, sure, it's going to go night sleep will fix. Well, can I get you back to the hotel then? Boy, I hate to be a bother to you. Don't worry. It's so wild. Okay. Boys. Oh, boys, where'd you go? Oh, they all must have locked up and left me here lonesome again. Sure was good here tonight. Oh, come on, Bob, you can't take this whole mule. Oh, I just need to take a quick nap.
Well, it's only stranger. Not only did David Lunt walk out of Al Chapman's saloon that night, but he continued to walk the streets of Deadwood for 67 days with a bullet hole right there in the middle of his forehead. 67 days he walked around like that, till one day he got himself just a bit of a headache, went up to the old Centennial Hotel to take a nap, and he died in his sleep. Old Doc Babcock did the autopsy on him and said the only reason David had died is because a piece of bone had started to abscess in the wound. And that's when things really were hitting in Deadwood, when old David Blunt took a bullet to his noggin. Thank you much for coming, folks, and have a great Deadwood day.
All right, now we are at the Mount Moriah Cemetery. This is where the final resting spot of Wild Bill Hickok and Calamity Jane are, among others. Looks like $2 a person. Kids 12 and under are free. Let's go check it out.